Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrutyam
Narayana Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayat Mudirayat
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Ashtaprayasu Avadresu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavate Uttamasloke
Bhagavate Uttamasloke
Bhaktin Bhavadirnaistiki
Bhaktin Bhavati Naistiki
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Naya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya cha
Devaki Nandanaya cha
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Gopakumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Vindaya Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for the Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, text number 36. The canto name is The Cosmic Manifestation and the chapter name is Answers by Citing the Lord's Version. Please repeat the sloka behind me. Etāvat eva jijñāsyaṁ
Etāvat eva jijñāsyaṁ
tattva-jijñāsunātmanaḥ
tattva-jijñāsunātmanaḥ
anvaya-vyatirekābhyāṁ
anvaya-vyatirekābhyāṁ
syāt sarvatra sarvadā.
syāt sarvatra sarvadā.
Word by word meaning, please repeat behind me. Etāvad,
etāvat,
up to this.
up to this,
Eva,
Eva,
certainly.
certainly.
Jijñāsyam,
jijñāsyaṁ,
is to be inquired.
Is to be inquired.
Tattva,
Tattva,
the absolute truth.
the
the
absolute
absolute truth,
Jijñāsunā,
jijñāsyaṁ,
by the student.
by the
by the
student.
student,
ātmanaḥ,
Ātmanaḥ,
of the self.
of
of
the
the
self,
self.
Anvaya,
Anvaya,
directly.
directly.
Vyatirekābhyāṁ,
Vyatirekābhyāṁ,
indirectly.
indirectly.
Yat,
Yat,
whatever.
whatever.
Syāt,
Syāt,
so
it may be.
it may
it
be.
may be
Sarvatra,
Sarvatra,
in all space and time.
in all
in all
space and
space,
time.
Sarvadā,
Sarvada,
in all circumstances.
in all
in all
circumstances.
Translation and purport by Divine Grace Abhay Charanavrinda A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada.
Translation, please repeat behind me the translation. A person
A
a
person
person
who is searching after the supreme absolute truth,
who is
who is
searching
searching after the supreme absolute truth,
the personality of Godhead,
the
the
personality
personality
of
of
God,
God,
must certainly
must certainly
search for
search
for
for
it up to this.
it
it
up
up
to
to
this.
this,
In all circumstances,
in all
circumstances,
circumstances,
in all space and time,
in all space
in
and
all
time,
space and time,
and both directly and indirectly.
and both
and both
directly and
directly and
indirectly.
Purport. The purport is very lengthy, so we will read a couple of paragraphs, then we'll discuss, then like that we'll go up to our time limit, we'll read that. Purport. To unfold the mystery of Bhakti Yoga as it is explained in the previous verse is the ultimate stage of all inquiries, or the highest objective for the inquisitive. Everyone is searching after self-realization in different ways, by karma yoga, by jnana yoga, by dhyana yoga, by raja yoga, by bhakti yoga, etc. To engage in self-realization is the responsibility of every living entity developed in consciousness. One who is developed in consciousness certainly makes inquiries into the mystery of the self, of the cosmic situation, and of the problems of life in all spheres and fields: social, political, economic, cultural, religious, moral, etc., and in their different branches. But here, the goal of all such inquiries is explained. So here, Prabhupada is talking about, actually this sloka, it is mainly about the person who is searching for the ultimate goal of life, self-realization, or we can say the God realization, or who are searching after the absolute truth. What they will do? They need to search after up to what? You need to search all the circumstances, all the space and time, and both directly and indirectly you have to search. So this is the way the self-realization, God realization, or to find out the absolute truth, it needs to be done. And there are many different ways to search the self-realization. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning. It's Karma Yoga is there, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Raja Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So all the other yogas, whatever the yogas we do, that won't, those are all the indirect ways, except the Bhakti Yoga. All the other yogas are indirectly, it will connect with the Supreme Lord. Whatever the other yogas we are using, we are suppose following, we are catching hold of other yogas, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Raja Yoga. Ultimately it will direct us towards Bhakti Yoga only. So even though after practicing that, those are the indirect ways, and then it will direct us to Bhakti Yoga. So the self-realized, the person who is having the developed consciousness, so he always wanted to inquire about all those things. Who am I? Who is God? What is the relation between God and me? Why there are so much of suffering in this material world? How to get out of these sufferings? All those things, the inquiry will come for the developed conscious person only. If it is undeveloped, it is like animals only. So the animals like cats and dogs, even though they are hypothetical situation, they are staying in this material world, they won't bother about that. Whatever they are getting, they are always searching for the food and sense enjoyment. If they are getting that, they are satisfied, they are enjoying that in each and every any place also. If it's in the road or is the garbage, wherever they are getting the sense gratification, they will do their enjoyment and they're happy with that. So the human also be there in such a way that only think about the sense enjoyment and the shelter, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Only if the human also doing the same thing, then that person also there is no difference between the cats and dogs and but even though the person who is there in the human form of life, but there is no difference between them and the animals. So that is the reason the Lord provided the special understanding, or special intelligence to the human being. So why the human species are special? Because they can think about all those things. They can think and they can change their lifestyle, and they can develop their consciousness towards the Supreme. So they can perfect their life. That is the reason Lord provided such intelligence to the human being. But if we are not using the intelligence for this purpose, and we are using for the sense enjoyment purpose, then nobody can help, and we will be on the same birth and cycle only. Now, let us go to the second paragraph. The Vedanta Sutra philosophy begins with this inquiry about life, and the Bhagavatam answers such inquiries up to this point, or the mystery of all inquiries. Lord Brahma wanted to be perfectly educated by the personality of Godhead, and here is the answer by the Lord, finished in 4 nutshell verses. From Aham Eva to this yes. Etāvat eva. This is the end of all self-realization processes. Men do not know that the ultimate goal of life is Vishnu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, due to being bewildered by the glaring reflection in the darkness. And as such, everyone is entering into the darkest region of material existence. driven by the uncontrolled senses. The whole material existence has sprung up because of sense gratification. Desires based principally on the sex desires, and the result in that is, in spite of all advancement of knowledge, the final goal of all the activities of the living entities is sense gratification. But here is the real goal of life, and everyone should know it by inquiries put before a bona fide spiritual master, expert in the science of Bhakti Yoga, or from a living personality of Bhagavatam life. Everyone is engaged in various kinds of scriptural inquiries, but the Srimad Bhagavatam gives answers to all the various students of self-realization. This ultimate objective of life is not to be searched out without great labor or perseverance. One who is imbued with such sincere inquiries must ask the bona fide spiritual master in the disciplic succession from Brahmaji, and that is the direction given here, because the mystery was disclosed before Brahmaji by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The mystery of all such inquiries regarding self-realization must be put before such a spiritual master, who is directly the representative of the Lord, acknowledged in the disciplic succession. Such a bona fide spiritual master is able to clear up the whole thing by evidence from the revealed scriptures, both direct and indirect. Although everyone is free to consult the revealed scriptures in this connection, one still requires the guidance of his bona fide spiritual master, and that is the direction in this verse. The bona fide spiritual master is the most confidential representative of the Lord, and one must receive direction from the spiritual master in the same spirit that Brahmaji received it from the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. The bona fide spiritual master in that bona fide chain of disciplic succession never claims to be the Lord himself, although such a spiritual master is greater than the Lord in the sense that he can deliver the Lord by his personally realized experience. The Lord is not to be found simply by education or by a good fertile brain, but surely he can be found by the sincere student through the transparent medium of bona fide spiritual master. Very good. So this paragraph, Prabhupada is trying to establish that through the disciplic succession, through a bona fide spiritual master, one can get into the path of self-realization. They can attain the goal of life very easily. That is what he wanted to establish over here. So the entire material creation, as soon as we reach in this material world, we will be contaminated. How the rainwater, yes, the rainwater, how it is happening from this ocean, the water is absorbed by the sun and it becomes converted into a cloud, and wherever all over the places a cloud is spreading and the rain is pouring. So the water, since it is absorbed by the sun, the water, even though all the contaminated water there in the ocean, that is become purified when it is absorbed by the sun. And the purified water is again, it is pouring as a rain, but the rainwater, as soon as it touches the material world, this earth, what is happening? Again, it is getting contaminated. The similar way, our soul, when it is touching this material world, will also become contaminated. And when as soon as we born, we are in the darkest region of this material world, because we don't know, because of our forgetfulness of our goal of life, everything, we are in the darkest region. But by seeing this creation and Maya, because of the Maya, what will happen? We are attracted for the sense gratification. So most of the people, most of the human, even though animals, they are all in the sense gratification only. The human also, they will think about the sense gratification. How can I gratify my senses in the various ways? So you can see in the currently, if you go out of means at least in the Bangalore, in our area, if you go out, you can see what are the required places are there? What are the shops are there from one end to another end, the big street? If you go and see what are the shops are there, Most of the shops are for the sense gratification only. So grocery shops, medical shop, these are all the only necessary shops. But what are the other shops are there? You can see spa, nail bar, and smoke bar, chicken, mutton, hotels, and snacks, bakery. See, these are all the items which are unwanted for our life. But still, those are most of the shops are those only. We are there with the basic necessities, which is very less shop only we can see in the street. So this is the way because by seeing that only, because through our eyes, we are seeing, immediately we will get attracted towards it. We wanted to enjoy. So that automatically we will fall into the sense gratification mode only by seeing that only. So the self-realized, the person who wanted to be in the self-realized platform, they won't get attracted by such things. They know what is necessity for a basic necessity for our life. They will be happy with that. They won't endeavor to accumulate more because they know that whatever we are doing this material, Prabhupada used to say in his Bhagavatam Purport, used to say, whatever activities the human beings are doing in this material world, other than the spiritual activity, that are like just a child play only. Even though you are very seriously, you are sending some rocket from here to you send the Chandrayaan to moon or to Mars, whatever the activities you are doing, everything it's a child play only. That's what Prabhupada used to say. Because those are all unnecessary. Because whatever why we born here, for the self-realization. As a human being, it is for the self-realization. That for that purpose we have to go. Towards that goal, we have to arrange, we have make our life towards that goal. But what the people, as soon as they reach this material world, because of this Mahamaya, they are trying to lord it over this material world, which is never going to happen. So that is what the Prabhupada used to say. Those things are child play only. Whatever they living in it is, at least the human beings are doing in this material world. If the person is not in the spiritual path, we can understand that this person is a child play. Even though the person may be a great politician, great scholar, or great sports person, or great celebrity, but still that person are like a child play only, that is. So what is the ultimate goal? To understand the ultimate goal of life, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, if you are able to get the spiritual master, through him, when the person understands the science of Godhead and the practice that self-realization methods, then reaching the ultimate goal. That is the purpose of life. So the inquiry, the person, we are all in the darkest region. So we have to understand, we have to approach a bona fide spiritual master who is from the bona fide parampara and inquire from him, clear our doubts, and yes, why we need to catch hold of the bona fide spiritual master? Because he is the very attractive to us, because he is following, because it is not possible by reading the books to follow the rules and regulations, and it is not at all possible to understand what is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, even though it is in our local language. Only through the spiritual master, only we can understand what is there in that. Otherwise, even though it is there in the local language, it is not possible for us to understand and apply in our life. That is the reason we need a spiritual master to give that knowledge in a simplified form. According to our intelligence, he will give that knowledge and he will give that service to us. Because he dedicated himself for the 24/7 for the service of the Supreme Lord. So that is, he is a self-realized soul. That is the reason, if you approach them, then he knows that what is our level of understanding and what can we do. So he will give that kind of instructions to us to do this, so that we can also satisfy the spiritual master. So it is, Prabhupada is mentioned over here, spiritual master, it is, he never say that he is a Lord himself. He won't say, the bona fide spiritual master never say that he is a Lord himself. But in one sense, we can say that he is more than the Lord, because Lord won't help us like the spiritual master. So Lord will help only for the chosen devotees only. The devotees only he will do. But the raw person like us who are the gross, the deepest in the sense gratification, that person also can be converted into a pure devotee of the Lord. That can be done by the spiritual master only. So that is the reason the spiritual master is, we need to consider him, it is more than the God, because we cannot approach the God directly, but by the mercy of the spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, he can make us eligible, he can deliver us from this gross material world. So that is the reason spiritual master is the transparent medium, and everyone should have the spiritual master in our life so that he can deliver us on to the Supreme Lord. So this is the way Prabhupada is explaining here. So the next paragraph, the revealed scriptures give directions directly to the end, but because the bewildered living entities are blinded by the glaring reflection in the darkness, they are unable to find the truth of the revealed scriptures. For example, in the Bhagavad Gita, the whole direction is targeted towards the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. But for want of a bit bona fide spiritual master in the line of Brahmaji or the direct hearer, Arjuna, there are different destruction of the revealed knowledge by many unauthorized persons who just wanted to satisfy their own whims. Undoubtedly, the Bhagavad Gita is accepted as one of the most brilliant stars in the horizon of the spiritual sky, yet the interpretations of this great book of knowledge have so grossly been distorted that every student of the Bhagavad Gita is still in the same darkness of glaring material reflections. Such students are hardly enlightened by the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, practically the same instruction is imparted as in the 4 prime verses of the Bhagavatam, but due to wrong and fashionable interpretations by unauthorized persons, one cannot reach the ultimate conclusion. In the Bhagavad Gita 18.61, it is clearly said, Ishvaraga sarva bhutanam hrideshu arjuna tistati brahmayan sarva bhutani yatrardhani mayaya. The Lord is situated in the heart of all living beings as Paramatma, and he is controlling all of them in the material world under the agency of his external energy. Therefore, it is clearly mentioned in the Lord that the Lord is the supreme controller and the living entities are controlled by the Lord. So in this, Prabhupada is trying to explain that we should learn the art of spirituality, art of the self-realization through a bona fide spiritual master. See, there are so many unauthorized persons who are not in the disciplic succession or who are not following the Bhakti Yoga. There are many professionals, they are also teaching Bhagavad Gita. So if you go and study the Bhagavad Gita from that person's, we may learn the slokas, and slokas, by 700 slokas we can learn. We can by heart we can tell the Bhagavad Gita slokas. But we cannot understand what is there within the slokas, how to apply in your life. The bhakti, the essence, what is the ultimate goal? After reading Bhagavad Gita, what needs to be done? After understanding Bhagavad Gita, the bhakti need to be emanate from our heart. We need to be in the path of bhakti. But if it is not coming, just to be completed Bhagavad Gita, 700 slokas are completed. That's all. Through a professional, we read and we memorized. It was of no use, because the essence of all is to get into the path of bhakti. So through the bona fide spiritual master only we can get the bhakti. We can also practically we can see there are many people, they so that I know Bhagavad Gita. There are some meetings, means they will come and they will recite slokas like anything, and they will talk about Bhagavad Gita. But it is not in the line of bhakti. They will speak that with the pride that they know Bhagavad Gita, and also they won't talk about Krishna over there. Krishna is the center point of Bhagavad Gita. Supreme Lord is the center point of Bhagavad Gita. Reaching them is the goal. That methods are specified in Bhagavad Gita. But their understanding, it may be because of their unauthorized people are taught them. So it will the direction will be only glorify themselves only. So that is the waste of time. So that is the reason we need a person who is a self-realized person, that is a bona fide spiritual master. We need to approach him and we need to learn Bhagavad Gita. And next, in the same Bhagavad Gita 18.65, the Lord directs us as follows. So what Lord is directing us? Manmana bhavamat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaisyasi satyam te pratijane prayosya asmi. So it is clearly from this verse of the Bhagavad Gita that the direction of the Lord is that one should be God-minded, a devotee of the Lord, a worshipper of the Lord, and must offer all obeisances unto the Lord Krishna. By so doing, the devotee will undoubtedly go back to Godhead, back to home. So this is the four things the devotee person, who has the quality of the devotees. Lord himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita in 18.65, Manmana. So Manmana means always remember me. The person who is always keeping Lord in the mind, that is Manmana. Bhavamat Bhakto, become his devotee. Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. So, who is worshipping the Lord and offering the obeisances. These are the four qualities of the person. That person will be a devotee of the Lord, can be a devotee of the Lord. Even though after studying this Bhagavad Gita, if we don't have this kind of qualities, we are not able to think about the Lord always. And if we are not able to become a devotee of the Lord, if we are not able to do the obeisances to the Lord, see, when this kind of qualities are not there, if we are not worshipping the Lord, then by reading Bhagavad Gita, by memorizing the slokas, it's of no use. So by understanding Bhagavad Gita, through the spiritual master, that the bhakti, because the bhakti cannot come by reading the books. Bhakti should be transferred from a devotee, because who is the devotee, that person has the bhakti. So from that heart to our heart, it needs to be transferred. So how one candle can be can be lit with another candle only. We can light the other candle with the one candle. So how the fire is transferred from one candle to another candle. The similar way, the bhakti needs to be transferred from the self-realized spiritual master. From that heart to our heart, it needs to be transferred. So that is the way bhakti will transfer. It is not bhakti just I am reading in the market, we are getting the books, bhakti books, the Vedas are there, Upanishads are there, Bhagavad Gita, everything is there. We are getting the books. If you give the money, you will get the books. And taking the books and coming to the home and by reading, we cannot get into the bhakti. It is never going to come, because bhakti, it is there with the spiritual master. Through him only we can understand. Through him only it needs to be transferred to us. So that is the reason bhakti need to be understood from the bona fide spiritual master. And next, it is clearly from this verse, the Bhagavad Gita, that direction of the Lord is that one should be God-minded, a devotee of the Lord, a worshipper of the Lord, and must offer obeisances unto the Lord Krishna. By so doing, the devotee will undoubtedly go back to Godhead, back to home. Indirectly, it is said that the whole Vedic social construction of human society is so made that everyone acts as part and parcel of the complete body of the Lord. The intelligent class of men, or the Brahmanas, are situated on the face of the Lord. The administrative class of men and Kshatriyas are situated on the arms of the Lord. The productive class of men, the Vaishyas, are situated on the belt of the Lord. And the laborer class of men, the Sudras, are situated on the legs of the Lord. Therefore, the complete social construction is the body of the Lord, and all the parts of the body, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas and Sudras, are meant to serve the Lord's whole body conjointly. Otherwise, the part become unfit to the coordinated with the supreme consciousness of oneness. Universal consciousness is factually achieved by coordinated service of all concerned to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that alone can inspire total production. Therefore, even the great scientists and great philosophers, the great mental speculators, the great politicians, great industrialists, the great social reformers, etc., cannot give any relief to the restless society of the material world because they do not know the secret of success as mentioned in this verse of Bhagavatam. Namely, one must know the mystery of Bhakti Yoga in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita 7.15. And so it is said that Namam Dukshritino Mudaham Prapatyanti Naradamaha Mayaya Prata Jnanam Ashrumbhavam Ashritaha. So here Prabhupada is trying to explain that there are different, all of the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and the human being especially divided into four classes. There is Brahmanas, intelligent classes, they are the face of the Lord, and if you take the Lord's body as a part and parcel of the human beings, then we can say that Lord is the Brahmanas are the face of the Lord, and the administrative class Kshatriyas, they are the arms and shoulder of the Supreme Lord, and the Vaishyas are the belt, the hip, the stomach part of the Lord, and the Shudras are the feet, the legs of the Lord. So this is the way the whole body is constructed. So there is no difference between, because each and every part is required to complete the body. That is the reason all these four classes are required in the society. And but here is clearly mentioned that even though the person is a philosopher, mental speculator, politician, or industrialist, social reformers, through them we cannot get the whatever they'll do, but it won't be the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is to surrender to the Supreme Lord and surrender to through the bona fide spiritual master and understand the science of Godhead and practice that and get into the path of bhakti and perfect our life. That is the ultimate goal of life. So it's a few more paragraphs are there, so we can read when you get time. So we'll complete the class as of now. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. We will